Well, here we are.
Friday again.
Friday again, yes.
Time for Frankenstein Tea.
Yes, indeed. This is
Time
like
for
the fourth Frankenstein Tea.
It's 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
It could be 5.
Could be 5, yeah.
We just did the board packet for the trustee meeting on Monday, and we did the stats for the January Frankenstein Teas, and we did 3. And we did 1 in February. This is 5.
Oh, this is 5? This is number 5.
This is number 5.
Gotcha.
Good for us. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so welcome. Frankenstein Tea is a weekly program that we do here at the Aldrich. It's a chance for us to share some literature with you, do some reader's advisory, have a little check-in. I always feel like it's a way for us to reach out to you and for you to stay connected to us. So Ian and I usually do a few updates and we talk about books. And this week, we did a little combo here. We did something that's fun in libraries. In the last few years, they've done something called speed dating with a book.
And since Valentine's Day is coming up just next week, we figured that this was the perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah, so we did a little speed dating with books, and we involved the staff, and we think you're really going to enjoy that. And we're also continue to celebrate Black History Month.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's our intro for today, I think.
Yeah. So we're going to cut right to it, and I think we're going to cut right to Garrett, and he's going to introduce himself and talk about his book.
He is. Welcome. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Tell us your name.
So my name is Garrett Grant.
Your position here.
I'm the assistant library director, and I also work with the teens.
Excellent. What's your book?
My book that I've chosen is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead.
And does it have a genre?
The genre is historical fiction.
Oh, is that always your genre?
It's not typically my genre.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's mine.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, often. Did you like it or love it?
I loved it.
All right. What did you love about it?
Oh gosh, what I really loved about this book was that it was really a perspective that you know about from, the Jim Crow era, but you really know what that feels like based on the way this book is written.
He's an awesome writer.
He is, yeah.
Have you read other books by him?
I have not read other books by him, but I really want to read his new book that we have downstairs, right on the main circulation desk on display.
It is on display for Black History Month. I saw that today down there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think he wrote the Underground Railroad. Yeah, the first one he wrote was also fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah. A historical fiction with a little twist. So would you say character, setting, or story was what you loved best?
I think the character was what I loved best because, again, that perspective was really eye-opening. The main character, is living as best a life he can in Jim Crow era Florida in the 1960s and, furthering his education, working a job, but through no fault of his own is unfairly sent to a reformatory school. And so there was a lot of abuse there, and just knowing what that feels like, it was very well written, knowing what the character was thinking and feeling.
So you and I had a quick conversation about this prior. Hard book, depressing book, tough read. What do you wanted to say something about that?
Yeah, this is not a gentle read.
Not a gentle read.
There's some violence in there. There's various types of abuse that happen in there, but at the same time, a book I could not put down.
Yeah.
A book that I read in a day and a half.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, my last book question is, did you get that on our shelf?
I did get this on our shelf.
Excellent. So it's available for people to check out.
Yep, it's upstairs in adult fiction, and for those who don't know, we catalog by the author's last name. So it's at the very end, Whitehead, because of W.
Okay. Now my last question is, often on this program we talk about how we're checking in with our community and checking in with ourselves, and we do a little mental health check-in. Garrett, can I ask you, what do you do, or something you feel comfortable sharing today that keeps you mentally healthy?
So something that I do that keeps me mentally healthy is before bed, I really try to be either watching something or just thinking about something positive or funny. So I like to watch comedy before bed, a funny show, stand-up comedy, read something funny, maybe like David Sedaris or Chelsea Handler, something that's just going to make me laugh before bed and get to sleep not worrying about what happened during the day.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine.
Thanks for coming up.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So tell us your name.
My name is Mary Ellen Bovair, and I'm the circulation librarian.
And how long you been that?
21 years.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Excellent. What's your book?
My book is The Yellow Wife by Cicada Johnson.
And what genre is that book?
It's historical fiction.
Do you often read that?
I do.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Mhm.
Excellent. Did you like this book or love it?
I love this book because I think it taught me a lot about slavery that you don't learn when you're in high school. You learn about slavery, but this gives you some nitty-gritty details about what people went through.
Ugly details?
Ugly details.
Yeah,
yes.
the ugly details. Yeah. Anything pretty in that book?
Well, the writing is very good.
There you go.
And the scenery is very pretty, the way she describes it. But their lives were not pretty.
No.
They were horrible.
Yeah, not much pretty.
No,
All right. Did you find that book on our shelf?
I did.
Excellent. That's in our fiction section?
It is.
Yeah. And Garrett just taught us that we do fiction by alphabetical by last name.
By the author's last
By
name.
the author's last name.
Yep.
So this one is under Johnson.
It is.
Excellent. And my last question is, we often share in Frankenstein Tea a little mental health check-in. Was there something you do for your mental health that you feel comfortable sharing today?
I like to walk. So in the summer, I usually walk daily.
Okay.
And in the winter, I don't. So I bought a little stepper for my house. So I do that
Excellent.
when I can't get outside.
Excellent, which is probably pretty often. It's icy, it's sandy. So how's the stepper?
It's okay. It's not the same as getting out and getting fresh air, but it's good exercise.
This is always my debate with joining a gym, that you know, is it worth giving up the fresh air? But in winter, sometimes you have to.
You have to.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Excellent. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi,
Tell us your name
Rain.
and your position.
I am the Youth Services Assistant.
Excellent. How long have you been in that position?
2 years, I think, now?
Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
think we've asked that question. I think I've asked you that before, but I'm not
Yeah,
positive.
I think, maybe a little over 2 years.
Okay. And I know you brought a couple of books. You
Yeah.
liked this challenge. So
Yeah.
tell us the name of your first book and the author.
Okay, I have Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson.
Okay.
So,
Excellent. And what genre is that book?
it is contemporary and young adult contemporary romance.
Young adult contemporary romance. Do you like that genre?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I tend to lean more towards fantasy or like paranormal, but I do enjoy contemporary romance sometimes too.
Okay. We're going to bring you back again in the future for paranormal. But for
Okay,
today,
yeah.
this is so tell us, did you like this book or love it?
Ooh, I probably love it. Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
And what did you love about it?
A lot of things. It was the characters were really good, and there's it's pretty relatable. The main character Nala spends a lot of the book trying to present a version of herself that she thinks the boy she likes will like, and she gets wrapped up in a lot of she keeps lying, and it's getting hard, and the longer it goes on, the harder it is to keep track of the lies and to really recognize herself in the lies, and eventually she kind of has to realize her own self-worth and stop the lies and realize that the people who really care about you are going to love the real you.
Yeah.
And stop living your life the way you think people want you, like being the version you think they want from you.
Excellent. Excellent synopsis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, I know the answer to this question. The last question is, did you get that on our shelf?
No.
No. Do we have it on our shelf?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Should we have it on our shelf?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Show us your next book.
Okay. The Hate You Give by
Talk
Angie
about
Thomas.
lies and
Yes.
and not being yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us the name. I know you just did,
yeah,
but
The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas.
okay.
And this was
And-
actually a Vermont Reads, I think it was in, was it 2018?
2020.
2020. That's
Okay.
right, 2020.
All right.
A few years ago. This is a really good one. It's very fun. It's
Also contemporary fiction.
also contemporary fiction,
Yeah.
yes.
And you liked it or loved it?
Loved it too.
Yeah,
This is
that's a
another-
great book.
This is a great book.
Yeah. That is.
You know, yeah. It's
Yeah.
really sad though, because I mean, it's based on a lot of truth. I mean, it's
Yeah.
sad as it is. You know, a lot of the themes and instances that are happening in this book are very real today.
Yeah.
You know, the main character is having to deal with, you know, like the grief over losing her best friend, but also, you know, the way that they are painting him as something that was completely different from who he really was, and trying to navigate the lies and find out what really happened to him and how it really went down, and kind of the truth of the situation behind a lot of lies. And some of the lies are created to protect people who shouldn't be protected, or to kind of paint it in a different light, I suppose. Because he's killed by a cop, so.
Yeah. I found that book, and then I got conflicted about what was the most conflicting for her,
Yeah.
right? Because they're high schoolers, and there's a lot of bullying and
Yeah,
pressure there, and
definitely.
she goes to another school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretending in that book.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, that idea of like, who am I and what's happening to my community, but is that even my community?
Right.
I had a lot of that book really made me think about community identity and where you
Yes,
identify
definitely.
and how you have to grow, what it's like to grow up.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of instances she did have to grow up pretty quickly, and like, you know, she's faced with these like really heartbreaking real world situations
And decisions.
At a very young age.
Very young age, yeah.
You know.
So great book.
Yes.
That
So
one
the-
is also from your own bookshelf.
This is from my own bookshelf, yes, but we have it.
We have
We have
to
at
have
least
that.
2 copies of
At
it,
least. I think we have
At
more
least
than that. I think
yeah.
I looked recently. Okay,
Yeah,
what else?
we definitely have that
What
one.
else do you have in your bag?
Okay. We'll grab March next.
Oh, March.
Yes, March by John Lewis. This is a graphic novel. This one's actually, I believe it is nonfiction.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So
know
it's
based-
graphic
yeah,
nonfiction.
It's graphic
Yeah.
nonfiction about a activist. He's Congressman John Lewis, and this is book 1 in a trilogy. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
About, you know, his life in the civil rights movement, and it's really beautifully illustrated. It's like black and white.
Yeah. Great book.
Great book, yeah.
Great book. Yeah. So its genre is nonfiction.
Yeah, nonfiction, yeah.
It's
It's a
historical nonfiction,
Yes, historical
right?
nonfiction, yeah.
You liked it or loved it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Loved it. Yeah.
Like they're all loved.
And did you gotta love John Lewis?
Yeah.
He's such a hero.
He is. He's
Yeah.
incredible, and it's really.
Was there good history in there that you hadn't known before?
Yeah, definitely. It was
Yeah.
definitely very educational. I mean, you know, and it's really what I love about this is that he wrote it. It's John
Right.
Lewis, but
Right.
he was involved. You know,
Yeah.
so I prefer nonfiction if I can get it where it's written like by the person, or at least the
Right.
person had a hand in it,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like you definitely get more truth if the person themselves is talking about their experience, more so than you would about somebody who just did research.
Right.
If I can't get directly the person, somebody close to them or who is
Yeah.
involved in
Yeah.
there is also nice, because then you at least still have some of that real time their knowledge.
Yeah, we talk about this in contemporary librarianship, this
Mhm.
idea of own voice.
Yes.
How important that is
It's
to
very
have
important
the own
to have
voice.
your own voice. And
Yeah.
not just when it talks about historical, but when it talks about just general experiences
Yeah.
as being a person.
Right.
Because, you know, different, you know, upbringings, races, religions, ethnicities, you know, social class, anything that makes us different, if you are different than that group, then you're not really going to be able to speak on it as truthfully as someone who is that group could.
That's
or
correct.
that person.
That's correct.
So.
You tell your own story.
Exactly.
Nicely done.
That's very good.
Do we have that on our
Yes,
shelf?
we do.
Also
We do.
from Rain Shelf. Okay.
Yes, also from my shelf. All of the books are from my shelf.
But we have some.
But we have some.
Maybe I can get you to donate this one.
Maybe.
What's your last book? I know you have one more in there.
I do. And this is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is contemporary romance, and this is actually adult. These others were young adult.
Young adult.
Yeah.
So you have one adult book with you
Yes,
today.
one adult book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Contemporary fiction.
Contemporary fiction.
Liked it or loved it?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Really
What-
sweet.
So did you love character, setting, or story, or all of it? Oh, it's really
It was
sweet, huh?
Really sweet. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really great. This starts with our main character Grace. She goes on vacation to Las Vegas to celebrate getting her PhD in astronomy, and she ends up getting drunk and married to Yuki. And so then it's like, it's that whole thing of, so it's sort of, it's this, they're married, but, they're getting to know each other, and they're kind of navigating life and, pressures of life and family, pressures and, this feeling of wanting companionship and this, like, okay, well, we're married, but
Right.
what now?
Yeah.
And it's really sweet and funny, and there's some, like, really, like, heartwarming moments, and it's just a really wonderful book.
Excellent. Your shelf.
Yes, my shelf.
Maybe we should have it on ours.
Yeah. I don't think we do, but yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you for
Yes.
sharing all your books with us.
Okay, yeah.
Now, my last question is not about a book.
Okay.
It is a question that I've asked everybody, and
Okay.
Ian and I are going to go too, and we'll ask it. And so we often talk about this as a mental health check-in, right? This is
Yeah.
a way for us to build community and to work with each other. And
Absolutely.
you've worked with me for a little bit. You know
Yeah.
that I have that sort of piece of that in me. So
Yes.
if I could ask, and
Yeah.
if you feel comfortable answering, what do you do to keep yourself mentally healthy?
Oh, a lot of reading, definitely.
A lot of reading. Really?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have known.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
This is the slim down section. But yeah, sometimes cosplaying, but I would say most of all is definitely writing. I find a lot of therapy in writing, and I definitely use my writing as a way to work through things that I'm feeling or work through issues I'm having, feelings about, my situations, but then also other people's situations. Like, I'll see my friends going through hard times, and I'll be like, and sometimes, like, their stories will be a little bit of an inspiration. Like, okay, I want to write them a happy ending. Or, so that was actually a lot of the inspiration for my first novel. So, yeah, definitely writing would be the biggest thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, writing and reading.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of
Thanks
course.
for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hi.
Where are we now?
Well, books can transport you anywhere. So here we are, transported to the children's room. And we are under Catherine Patterson's tree. This is supposed to be the tree from Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Oh, it's lovely.
And since we're still in winter, we have all these hats and mittens and scarves that have been knit by the Aldrich Public Library Knitting Group. So anyone who needs a hat or a scarf or mittens, they can come to the Giving Tree here and they can get one to keep themselves warm.
Yeah.
Although-
and so, people should know, I really did know where we were.
I should hope so.
And I love this project.
Yes, it is. It's
This
really
is
nice.
a great project.
But I was going to say, the weather has been so warm this week that, so far no one has needed it this week. So
No, but
yeah.
I know you've been cycling through some. So we
have
thank
indeed.
the Aldrich Public Library knitters for participating in that.
And they meet every Tuesday. Is it
1
1
to 3?
1 to 3? Yes.
1:30 to 3:30, something like that.
And they're open to children, teens, and adults.
Yeah,
So,
they have a great
yeah,
time up
they
there.
do. Yeah. So
I love it. I should say I love it when Knitter's in the building. And for our Valentine's Day program, I wore red, and this was hand knit by someone on my prior staff.
oh, fantastic! That's perfect.
And she ran our knitting program. Yeah, so I always love the knitters.
Yes, absolutely. Knitting and books and libraries, they all really go well
There's
together.
a nice. They're all sewn together.
Yes. They're knit together, and
They're
that's the name
knit
of the
together.
group. Knit
Let's
together.
knit together, right?
Yes.
What was ours? Maybe something like Stitch Together. So yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm,
All right, so let's see. Do you have any books today?
I do.
Excellent.
Yes. So
Tell us your name
I'm Ian Gothier. I'm the children's librarian here.
and how long you've been here.
This is going to be number 10 years.
Excellent.
Yeah,
We'll have
as
to have a little. We should have a
a
little
little
celebration.
do. Yeah, that would be a lot
the
of fun.
kids would love that.
Oh yeah, that could be really fun. Yeah, a little 10-year-old 10-year birthday.
10-year birthday. Oh, that'd be so fun. Okay, we're gonna put that in the hopper. Okay, what book did you bring?
All right, so I brought Shadows of Sherwood by Kekla Magoon. And this is a fun one because Kekla is a local. She's just down the road in Montpelier. So Kekla Magoon.
Excellent.
And this was a a Golden Dome book in 2017. And that year we had Kekla come actually and talk to us at the Aldrich Public Library about this book. And at the time, I think this might have been the only book in the series that was out.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So, and what's its genre?
So, it's sci-fi fantasy. It's more leaning towards sci-fi, dystopian.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a series.
And it's a series.
Okay.
Yes. A trilogy.
Did you like it or love it?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really
Yep,
good.
yep.
Is that because of the character, setting, or story? Or all three, or something else?
All of the above. It had a really nice, strong character. So this is a rewriting of the Robin Hood legend.
Okay.
And
Sherwood.
Sherwood,
Forest.
yes.
Okay.
And the Robin in this one is an African American young woman.
Uh-huh.
So Robin, I believe, is spelled with a Y. Yes, it is. Robin.
Robin.
Robin Hoodlum. A Robin Hoodlum adventure instead of Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So, really great character. It's a really great kind of examination of what it is to be a leader. So, but yeah, a
Excellent.
very strong character. And instead of being set in a forest, in Sherwood Forest, it's set in an urban setting. And it's also a futuristic, dystopian kind of setting as well. So, yeah.
What a great story.
A very original take on the Robin Hood legend.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And I can see from the spine label here that it's not on our shelf
Right.
at the main library, but where'd you get that book?
So this one is from our Eastbury branch, which also has a copy. So yeah.
Okay, so that's at the York branch.
Yes,
Great.
and our copy here is actually currently checked out.
Oh,
Yeah, because I actually
that's
book talked it to another kid. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
so
you
hopefully
do
they're
have a
enjoying
copy
that.
here, but it's checked out.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you bring other books from her series? What's
I
that?
did. So this is a trilogy. So this is the first one, and then we have this. Let's see. The second one is Rebellion of Thieves, and then Reign of Outlaws. And that finishes up the entire story, the trilogy.
Okay, and they I can see that they all have a Vermont sticker on them. Tell us what that means.
So the Vermont sticker, if you see that on the spine, it means it's a Vermont author. And so
Okay.
since Kekla lives over in Montpelier,
Okay.
she's a local, yeah.
All right.
So yeah,
Maybe we can get her back.
I hope so. Yeah. Hi, Kekla.
Hi, Kekla.
Come back.
I'd like to meet you.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really fun, and I think for people who like sci-fi fantasy and also like the dystopian thing, and there's some really cool gadgets and like such. There's also a little bit of fantasy, some magical realism. So it's kind of like a grab bag of everything, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah,
great.
on a classic story.
On a classic
tale.
On a classic tale.
Yeah.
And it also examines socioeconomic diversity and also racial diversity. And what's really fun about this is just the number of strong female characters.
Yeah.
So Robin is female. The Sheriff of Nottingham is also female. And
Yeah.
of course we have Marion as well. So Yeah.
Excellent.
So it's a really great read for sure, and short chapters, lots of action, lots of cliffhangers.
In one of your rooms down here, so it's a kid read. It's a J book.
It's a middle grade read. For
Middle
sure.
grade. Okay.
Yep. So.
Okay. But of course, we love to read those.
For sure. Yeah. And
And the YA books. I read everything in the building.
It's a middle grade read, but there's definitely there's a dark dystopian tinge to it, you know. So yeah, her parents, as often happens in the Robin Hood story, she's aristocratic. You know, she's from the upper class, and her parents are actually part of a democratically elected government.
Oh.
And in the very beginning of the book, there's a coup, and her parents are disappeared, and then she has to run off and lead this rebellion of teens against the government.
Excellent.
So,
against the coup.
Against the coup.
The ones who overtook the government.
Correct, yes. Against the
Great.
coup government, yes.
All
Yeah, so,
right.
yeah, it's really fantastic. Highly recommend it.
Okay. Now, you were behind the camera when we were doing these with the staff, but you know this question is coming up. If you would, and if I may ask, what is something you'd like to share that you do to take care of your own mental health?
I was thinking about that, and I definitely would agree with Garrett, like reading a nice book before bed. But you know, I would have to say probably like listening to music and playing music.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would say music.
Yeah, music is very therapeutic
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, if you're learning music, it really forces you to focus on something. You know,
Yeah.
other than everything that's going on in your life, in the chaos.
Everything that
That's
is
right.
going on in our lives.
Everything that we're juggling, you know, all the different projects, you get to set those aside and just like focus on the music and
on
the
the
beauty.
music.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
All right. Yes, your turn.
Yeah, my turn.
All right. So, what is your name?
My name is Kristen, and I am the incoming director here at the Aldrich Public Library, and I've been here since October.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Much less than 10 years, much less than 21 years, much less than 2.
But you know, it feels like you've been here a lot longer.
It feels like home. It does.
Absolutely.
I'm having a great time.
So tell us a little bit about your book. Your
I
title?
chose The Prophets, and it's by Robert Jones Jr. And I should have done a little research before I looked it up, but I think I read that it took him a very long time to write this book. It took him a very long time. I don't remember what I read, but I think it was a very long time. And it is historical fiction. It is about relationships on a plantation, and it is beautifully written. And if you've stuck through our show here today, Mary Ellen also wrote about read a book about slaves, and I asked her if it was pretty, and I'll be regretful of that, you know, all night long now that, you know, because there was nothing pretty about that. But, you know, there is something, and she said it's the writing that was beautiful. And this has a beautiful love story in it. A few beautiful love stories in it, and it has beautiful writing. So you know, that's what I meant by pretty. Like, what is it that we can read this hard stuff? Garrett's book was hard too, right? He chose a real hard book, but that Colson Whitehead can also really write. So this is a beautifully written book about a very hard topic, and has some hard graphic scenes, but is well worth the read. It is a gorgeous book.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And what did you specifically? What was the thing that really made you love this book? Was it the character? Was it the setting? Was it
this book? And it has one piece of it. I like this. Well, I loved this book, and one of the things that I loved was this idea of you know, the slaves being forced to come here, and what they leave and are forced to abandon, and how they're still connected across the ocean, and through these horrific events in their lives, and how they had such strong beliefs and connections to ancestors and family left behind, and how that kept them going. And some of that becomes very spiritual in this book, and very you know, it's a challenge for me because it becomes something of is that real, right? Some fantasy piece of it, right? Like often with religion, right? Or spiritual things, right? It's like that can't be real, right? Like but and so that's the challenge, right? Like, did that happen? Is this fiction? Does that still happen?
I think you mentioned that with ring shout as well.
Yeah,
right?
with ring shout. Yeah, there's a ring shout in here, and it's this idea of my East Coast Western gaze being challenged, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I love to think that it's even real, or the possibility of it, or just for me to even be challenged. And actually, I'm just going to go, if you watched us, I'm going to go one step further. And when Garrett was talking about Colson Whitehead,
yes.
and he wrote The Underground Railroad, in The Underground Railroad, his book, there's an Underground Railroad. It's
literally.
Yeah, literally. There's an Underground Railroad. And he writes so well that you sit there and you think, was there an Underground Railroad? Did I miss that in history class? Have I misunderstood that this whole time? Was there a railroad? It's this idea of like, what do I know? I don't know I didn't live it, right? Talk about own voice, right?
Sure.
I didn't live it. I wasn't taught that, but who knows what I was taught that was correct or not correct. And I see that in this whole movement that we're living through right now.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
We're discovering so much history that we never knew, that weren't in the histoy books.
That wasn't in the history books,
yeah.
right? So Colson Whitehead writes so beautifully. I'm like, Mom, was there a railroad? At like 58, I'm like, Mom, I don't understand this book. And then you read this, and this, isn't about the Underground Railroad, but there is some very spiritual happenings, and they're so well done and so beautiful, and they're so important to everyone on the plantation that you want them to be real, and you want to think that they had something that was okay in their lives then. So I recommend this one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you usually like this genre. This is your favorite genre.
I do read historical fiction. Yes, I do. Yep, I do.
All right. Well, did you want to talk a little bit about our mental health check-in?
Our mental health check-in. So we did a mental health. We asked the staff today, or most of the staff, what they would do. I'll say for me, I have a text group of 4 of us, three of my best long-term girlfriends and myself, and we check in with each other almost daily. And we share with each other, and we encourage each other, and sometimes we just talk about what we're cooking for dinner, and sometimes we talk about our mothers driving us crazy. Currently, we have some of us have children, and we talk about our children. One of us has a partner. We ask how the partner's doing. So it's a check-in.
Yeah.
And it's through text, but we do it pretty regularly. And we didn't always do it. This is not like a COVID carryover. I know a lot of people did that during COVID, but we recently started. I think it was part of me moving to Vermont was, hold on, we don't want to say goodbye kind of thing. And of course we're not.
Are they all down in Rhode Island?
They're not. I have two. We're all different actually.
Oh, really?
But really, where I lived pieced us together. It's where we met each other.
Yeah.
And so me leaving there was different. But I have a friend in Brooklyn, a friend in Rhode Island, a friend in California, and I'm in Vermont. And so to be connected to women like that around the country is really helpful to me.
And that's what energizes you and relaxes you. And
Yes. I usually do it at night. It's usually the last thing I do. I make sure everybody's okay. Or if we're not, I read the kind words that we're sharing with each other, the helpful tip, maybe a quote comes across, maybe it's just emojis, but that's usually the last thing I do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's not always the last thing my California girlfriend does.
Oh, right.
But for the three of us on the East Coast, we're like, okay, good night, and she's like, bye.
I like that. There was sort of like a running theme of like ending the day positively.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And so we do that mental health check-in, and I like the twist we did on it. Usually we do a little check-in with you that let's see if we can do it without a list in front of us. Have you eaten a meal and drank enough water? Have you showered? Have you spoken to a family member or a friend? Are you thinking kind thoughts about yourself and others? Have you moved your body and exercised? I think that's the list.
Have you read a good book?
Have you read a good book?
That's good.
Excellent. Yeah. We got to add that one onto the
gotta add
list.
that one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you read a book or listened to a good piece of music?
Or listen to a good piece of music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like that about my commute, that I get to hear some music again.
That is a nice thing about commuting. Yeah.
I haven't commuted in a long time, and I'm enjoying that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, you have any announcements?
Yes. So, Full Steam Ahead is still going on. That's our after-school science program for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. We had a really great first session, and we have a really fun session coming up next Thursday. That's going to be circuitry and origami, and it is the day after Valentine's Day, but we're still going to be making Valentine's Day cards. You can still make a Valentine's Day card.
You can
all
say I
year
love you
round.
any day.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So it's going to be fun. The kids are going to be working with a little bit of circuitry, and they'll be doing a little bit of art. So yeah, and that's 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and it's free for them to register.
Still, registration is open on the website?
Registration is open on the website, so that's aldrichpubliclibrary.org/STEAM. I'll put the link down in our description, along with a list of all the books that we mentioned today.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to remind people that we're going to have a winter open house at the York branch on Tuesday, 2 to 5 at the East Barry branch. We invite everyone to come. We will be making Valentine's, and that is the day before Valentine's.
There we go.
We're going to play a little, not play, but if you'd like to join us, there'll be a little interactive activity. We'll have some treats.
Some crafts.
Crafts. We'll be listening to feedback about the York branch and the Aldrich branch. It'll be a time for you to meet some staff and meet the neighbors, and we're looking forward to that.
And I saw it this morning, and the branch is looking really fantastic.
Oh, right,
it's gotten a little bit of a facelift.
Yeah, just a little bit of polish, you know.
And some new books on the shelf.
We did some books,
some games.
Furniture, a rug, and we have a really fun thing there that I am not talking about yet. I want you all to come see, but we're doing a fun program there that we'll bring to the Aldrich, but we're pioneering it there. So
so a nice little teaser there.
Yeah, there's a teaser. Come see, it's fun.
So that's Tuesday night, and it's what time?
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Yep, and I think that's the 13th because Valentine's Day is Wednesday the 14th.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see you all over at the East Barry branch.
Or here at the Aldrich.
Or here at the Aldrich. Come down and see our beautiful tree here in the children's room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay safe, everyone, and
Keep
reading.
reading.